So the year was 2021. I had recently just gotten into fitness and started lifting seriously. I was super excited. I was watching all the YouTube videos, watching the different splits. Should I do bro split? Should I do push-pull legs? And I remember the one goal that I had throughout the entire first year of lifting was I just wanted to get jacked. I wanted to be huge. And so what I did was I went on the world's dirtiest bulk. And as you can imagine, it made me pretty fat. But the good news is that I also gained quite a bit of muscle. And while I wouldn't necessarily recommend going on an insane dirty bulk, that experience definitely taught me a lot about gaining a lot of muscle really within a short period of time. And I would definitely do some things differently if I were to go back and do it right now. But in today's video, I'm gonna share with you exactly what I would do differently and exactly how I would set it up if I was a new lifter to the gym and if I was trying to gain as much muscle as quickly as possible. And if you're new here, by the way, bro, this is what I used to look like before I really got into fitness. If you've never watched any of my videos before, the whole point of my channel is to really give a breakdown of how to look good, how to feel good, how to be strong and healthy as just an average dude. As you can see by these photos, I'm not someone who was blessed with like amazing genetics. I didn't come out of the womb looking like Brad Pitt or anything like that. I'm just a normal guy, just like you. And I was just a guy who wanted to get into good shape and look good. So yeah, I think these pictures were around like 2020 to 2021. So after pretty much like the last 4 years, bro, I was able to change my physique from this into this is what I look like now. So as you can see, gained a substantial amount of muscle and have also gotten significantly leaner. This video is really gonna be just mostly about how I gained that muscle because a lot of it really came very quickly. And then I've spent a lot more time learning how to get lean because for me, I'm someone who has struggled to lose weight. I have other videos if you're like, oh, well, I want to know how to get lean. You can watch some of my other videos, bro, that I've already done. Or go check out my course in the description. If you want like a deep dive, like just step-by-step instructions to get the body of your dreams, then I pretty much laid out everything I know about fitness in a course just so you don't have to even really think about it. You can just do it pretty mindlessly and just have access to all the knowledge that it took me a while to get. So check that out if you want. But yeah, so as you can see, quite a big jump here, going from this to this. And so there's really a couple different ways that we can gain muscle mass. So the first, and I would argue most critical form of gaining muscle mass is gonna be what's called newbie gains. And so newbie gains, if you're unfamiliar with the term, is essentially the first 6 months to a year of lifting as your body adapts to the stimulus of weightlifting. It adds the most amount of muscle mass that you'll ever add in your lifting career comes from the first 6 months to 1 year if you are natural. If you're planning on being natural like myself, then you can expect the most amount of gains you're ever gonna make to be within the first 6 months to a year, which makes sense because if you think about it, your body's like, holy crap, like we're lifting weights now, our muscles are breaking down, like we gotta freaking adapt. So your body really adapts quickly. This is gonna be the easiest time to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, which is pretty cool because that's kind of hard to do. And it's just basically a quick and rapid adaptation to lifting by the body. So if you're someone who really hasn't lifted before and you're kind of intimidated, well, I actually feel like if I could go back in time to my first year of lifting, I would almost appreciate it even more because that's really an exciting time because you'll be able to see big changes to your body, which is awesome. So that's gonna be the first phase of significant muscle gain. It's just in that newbie gains period from your first 6 months to a year of lifting. You're just naturally, just by going to the gym, you're just gonna see quite a big change. Now, the second way that we can do it is really the more traditional way, which is just doing like a bulk, which is being in a calorie surplus. Now, a big mistake I see when people bulk is they just go into way too heavy of a caloric surplus where they're eating like 500 to 1,000 calories surplus. You really only need about 150 to 300 calories surplus when you're bulking. Anything more is going to be negligible in terms of muscle mass, gaining muscle mass, and will add primarily body fat, which obviously we don't want that. And this is going to be the best route if you've been lifting for multiple years. So if you've already milked all your newbie gains, if you've been in the gym for, 2, 3, 4 years now, and you really want to see like a muscle mass building phase, then going into a calorie surplus is going to be your best bet. But I'd really only recommend it if you're below probably around 18% body fat, because if you're above 18% and then you go on a bulk, I almost feel like you're going to enter into kind of an unhealthy range in terms of how much body fat you have. And if you do go on a bulk and you go all the way up to like 25% body fat, then it's going to take you quite a while to get back down to like a more aesthetic range. So I would really, again, only recommend going on a bulk if you're already below like 18% body fat. That would be like my cutoff. And just be okay with losing some aesthetics. As you gain muscle mass through a bulk, realize you're also just naturally going to gain some body fat. That's just part of being in a calorie surplus. And then the third method for adding muscle mass, and this is my preferred way of adding muscle mass, would be what's called main gaining, which is basically eating right around maintenance calories. So you're not gaining substantial amounts of body fat or anything like that, so you can keep your aesthetics, but you are eating enough protein, enough calories for your body to be able to redirect some of that energy into muscle building potential. Realize that it's not going to be quite as anabolic as doing like a pure bulk. When you're actually in like a genuine surplus, your body is going to be able to direct more resources into gaining muscle, but you can still direct some resources into gaining muscles when you're in a main gaining period. Just realize that it'll take a little bit longer. So it's more slow, controlled progress. But again, the benefit of it is that you really don't gain too much body fat. And it's just incremental, small amounts of muscle over time, which if you're a natural, hey, that's all you can ask for. That's, it's not a bad way to go. And then the fourth thing I wanted to touch on is protein intake. Protein intake is going to be important no matter what the approach is. Protein is the building block of gaining muscle. So generally, it's recommended that you get about 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. So let's say that you want to be 170 pounds. That means that you want to shoot for about 170 grams of protein. So whatever your body weight is that you're aiming for, whatever your goal body weight is, that's how many grams of protein you should be getting. And then I also prefer shooting for like animal proteins over like, powdered proteins, anything like that. I think the animal protein is just going to be the most bioavailable, highest quality protein you can get. So like actual meat, steak, chicken, that kind of stuff. And then I also wanted to give you an example. Here's something that's kind of interesting. So an example of newbie gains, I talked about that earlier, but newbie gains, again, are going to be the most anabolic period of a natural lifter's fitness journey. And here I wanted to give you an example because these pictures I'm about to show you are within like 6 months of the pictures you're looking at now, or this picture is. And so this is a good example of newbie gains. So you can see, like, I don't look insane in this picture. Like, I definitely don't look as good as, as these pictures up here. But you can see that there's a substantial amount of muscle mass gained, right? Like, look at these pictures. I mean, have a lot of body fat, not very much muscle mass. But if you look at this one, this is within like 6 months of these pictures. And you can see I have a substantial amount more of muscle mass on me. Still have a lot of body fat. Have a lot more muscle mass. Even you can just look at my shoulders, my arms, even my chest a little bit. And again, that's a really good example of newbie gains because pretty much my body from the picture on the left to the picture on the right was like, holy crap, our muscles are getting damaged. Like we got to adapt. So that's I would say a pretty good representation of newbie gains. And then lastly, bro, pretty much what I want to talk about is that it's pretty simple to gain muscle. I know I talked a lot about newbie gains and yada yada, protein intake, but pretty much if you just do these things that's on the screen right now, you'll gain muscle mass. Go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, eat a bunch of protein like we just talked about, and then ideally be in a slight calorie surplus. There's no magic pill. If you're looking for a magic pill, then you're not going to find one. And I know that because I wanted a magic pill when I first started. What I will tell you is if you want to look different than everybody else, look abnormally good, or, you know, look above average, then you're going to have to do things that most people aren't willing to do. And that's just going to require a little bit of discipline. I know a lot of people don't like that word because they want to find hacks or cheats or whatever. But the day that your life changes and the day that your fitness journey really changes is when you recognize that the only path to true greatness is through discipline and consistency. And I hope that that motivates you a little bit because it is within your control. The discipline and the consistency you put in is within your control. So yeah, bro, you can do it. Just do it. Don't wait. There's no point in waiting. I know a lot of people have the next day mentality, tomorrow mentality. But if you're saying that you'll do it tomorrow, then you might as well just keep saying that every single day of your life, because the day that things change are the day that you actually decide to do it now. So yeah, I hope that helped. But yeah, let's go get jacked, man. And you got it. I believe in you. See you in the next one.